It's absolutely a pleasure to be here with you with the BART. And I've got the name, the Transiteers, okay, from the Bay Area Rapid Transit. Just a little bit about BART, and I'm sure most of you know, but BART is really the backbone of of an extensive network of transportation that's in the Bay Area. And without BART, everybody connects in, and without BART, it just simply would not function. So they are a heavy rail system and one of the most heavily utilized in the United States, actually in North America. So it's absolutely a pleasure to have you as part of our program and to have you here today. So now we're going to get ourselves started with a little bit about our national judges. Okay, I want to make a shout out to them. One, we have quite a few people that are actually from the West Coast. Leslie Rogers. Leslie is the chair of our national judges, and he has so much experience in the Bay Area. He's had, well, all over the country, but he's had over 40 years in transportation. Over 20 of those were directly in the Bay Area, where he was the Region 9 administrator for over 20 years. And so he has touched every part of not only California, but nine other areas, carried a portfolio of $2.5 to $3 billion worth of active transit projects with grantees through the years and a $20 billion portfolio altogether. The bottom line being that he knows a whole lot about transportation and the value that it has for people and communities. And then we have Dr. Scobie, Dr. Jamal Scobie. Uh, Dr. Scobie is with the National Academy of Sciences with the Transportation Research Board. He's been in the public transportation field for over 20 years, has experience both within agencies in the case of both MBTA and MARTA, and then private sector, and has also done some on the public sector side, particularly in the areas of urban planning, equity-centered transportation, sustainability, has touched over 100 projects in the United States and really a little bit in the international sphere, and is a regular contributor on best practices in transportation across the country in terms of speaking and all of that. We have Jose Ramirez, and you're going to hear some themes that are a little, Jose is with LA Metro, and he started out as an intern, as did I, 40 some years ago, an intern fellow. And he started out as an intern at LA Metro. He is the head of their human resources management area with an extensive portfolio, which includes some very interesting uh, programs like a leadership and succession planning institute academy that they have, and just all aspects of HR. Most of them fall within his portfolio. He's a first time graduate, college graduate. Latino, and he just in Southern California, and he just has this absolute affinity, if you will, to the importance of people and people first, okay, relative to the community building and transportation. Grace Almeida, Grace is from Minneapolis, St. Paul. She is a graduate of the 2025 APTA Emerging Leader Program. She has herself over 10, 12 years of transportation experience, and she brings particularly service planning, sustainability, those areas of expertise to the table. And we're absolutely delighted to have her here. And then Justin Augustine. Justin is at AC Transit, no, one of your partners in for Alameda Contra Costa, and he brings about 13, 14 years of experience, particularly with a focus on project management. Human resources, and also in terms of new technologies and community engagement. And they're doing some very exciting things in that area, particularly with new technologies and workforce development. So that rounds out our group of national judges. And now it gives me a great pleasure to turn to these BART transiteers, if you will, the Bartonators. Okay, so I'm going to start out with, and I hope I don't slaughter names. Okay, with Bava Anand. Okay, Bava is an industrial engineering and operations research manager at major at UC Berkeley. She has a minor in data science, grew up working in a family-owned grocery store, and so she developed a really strong appreciation for supply chain operations and community-centered systems. And building on this foundation, she founded her own consulting firm and took on some leadership roles in campus organizations. And through the Innovation Challenge, Baba is looking forward to applying her skills in strategic planning, community engagement, and systems design to improve public transit on a global scale. So welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. And then Aaron Chang. Aaron is a member of Berkeley's class of 2028. Has a double major in urban studies and data science. He is absolutely passionate about sustainable transportation and urban development, and is driven by the vision of creating more efficient and resilient cities. And then drawing on his own lived experience in both China and the United States, he's developed a very unique perspective on how thoughtful city planning, when integrated with data science and engineering, can really help repair the social and environmental damage caused by rapid urbanization. So his excitement in terms of being able to compete in this competition has really been about contributing to innovation in global transit systems. And Marl Johnson. Marl is a computer science major and business minor at San Jose State University, with a focus on optimizing product workflows and designing user-centric experiences. And through involvement in San Jose State's product management and responsible computing clubs, he's led a number of workshops and collaborations with professional designers and engineers that fosters a hands-on learning opportunity, if you will, for fellow students, and so brings a real strategic, equity-centered approach to the AYA challenge, and we're delighted to have the participation in this program. Now, outside of tech, he does a whole lot of stuff too, like swimming and running and exploring the Bay Area, and that's all wonderful, okay? And then we have Isaac Santalin, okay, who has been elected as the team leader of the Bartonators and is a UC Berkeley graduate with a BA in computer science. And while at Berkeley, he collaborated with 10 strands to analyze data from over 250 school districts across 47 California counties. And in this role, he applied data analysis skills to promote initiatives focused on environmental literacy and equitable access to educational data. And so all of this experience has helped to sharpen his abilities in data visualization and in communicating insights to diverse audiences, while also igniting a strong passion for sustainability and youth engagement. And so all of this, Isaac is helping BART to engage the next generation of transit riders through innovation and data-driven strategies. So now this awesome, okay, Bartonator team, let's talk a little bit about, just to give you a bird's eye view of what their team innovation is all about. The Transiteers team from BART came up with a very creative way to get young people interested in transit careers through a video game. In their game, players take on real jobs at BART, like helping customers, fixing tracks, or designing public art. Every character in the game is based on actual BART employees, and the game helps players explore different roles while earning points and promotions. The project also includes hands-on club events where students can meet transit workers, take field trips, learn how to do all of the different kinds of things that actually go along with their interests, like technology or design, and really connect that to real careers. And so combining gaming with real world learning, the team is making it easier for students to see themselves in the world of transit, as we like to say at AYA, see me, be me. And with that, I'm going to now turn it over to Isaiah, who's going to, and the judges, who's going to play the 3-minute video, and then take it away, Bartonators. Hey, Isaiah.
And we're focused on solving BART's urgent problems.
Transit agencies like BART move hundreds of thousands of people every day, but most people don't see or understand the work behind the ride.
There are teams solving problems every day, from station operations and communications to engineering and sustainability.
However, transit agencies are facing a major problem. According to the American Public Transportation Association, a majority of the transit workforce is near or at retirement age.
With many positions left unfilled, transit agencies are struggling to find new people to hire. We spoke with Diana Iwata, a human resource administrator at BART, to learn more about the issue.
There are just so many different occupations that we have here available at BART that I just don't know that the average student may be familiar with, because you don't necessarily have an opportunity to learn about those different positions at BART. Right now, about 30%-ish of our population is eligible to retire. Doesn't mean they're going to retire, but they are eligible to walk out the door today. We have 4,200 folks, and about 30% of them are eligible to retire today. In 5 years, that number is going to be, if we don't do anything, that number is potentially going to rise to 55%.
And as longtime employees retire, we need new people ready to lead. But how do we inspire the next generation of transit riders?
So we asked ourselves, how do we make learning about transit careers fun, accessible, and hands-on?
Introducing Transiteers, a video game where the player becomes a BART intern. Your job? Complete real-life inspired tasks designed as fun mini-games.
You begin as an intern, working with different departments across BART. As you progress, you'll meet characters inspired by real BART employees and discover the wide range of careers that keep the system running. You might sort trash into compost, recycling, and landfill, or reroute a delayed train. Each game is based on how actual BART departments perform their day-to-day operations. Players can toggle between 3 locations: BART HQ, downtown Berkeley, and Ashby Station. Each space holds different tasks and departments.
We built the game to simulate real career pathways within BART, so that kids may one day see what it's like to step into those roles.
As you complete challenges, you level up, from intern to team lead to employee, and learn what it means to grow at BART.
We asked Diane, what do you think about Transiteers?
I think it is a great tool to be able to use. It's in less intimidating way to introduce ideas out there to our broader audience. Maybe again, they'll enjoy the game and they'll hear about it and enjoy playing it. And they've never thought about BART as an employer. And now, because of it, it's a unique way for them to engage.
The BART game is one small experience with big impact.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Team BART, the BARTnators. Our introduction is now over. Mauro, you may begin sharing your screen, and all 4 of you delivering your presentation. Once you guys officially start rolling, I'll hit the timer button, and you guys have 15 minutes to deliver your pitch. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Isaiah. All right, take it away, Isaac.
Ready? Good afternoon, judges. First, a huge thank you to Dr. Beverly Scott for making this incredible opportunity possible, and to Isaiah, whom we proudly call Young Unk, for holding it down on the tech side of things. And thank you, judges, for taking time out of your Sunday to hear our presentation. We BARTnators are excited to introduce you to our project, Transiteers, a game, a vision, and a movement. So without further ado, let's jump in.
Judges, you'll be evaluating us on 6 criteria: our alignment with innovation categories number 3 and 7, and filling the local gap of reaching out to underserved groups. You'll see that it aligns with UN category 8 for global impact. You'll also see that we use data and a SWOT analysis to drive our decision making, and then we'll tell you about our next steps. So what is the problem we're facing? Our story begins with 2 highly dedicated professionals at the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District who keep the system running from the inside. We sat down with Candace Bell, Manager of Talent Acquisition, and Diane Iwata, Deputy Director of Human Resources. And here's what they told us. At this very moment, 30% of BART's current workforce is eligible to retire right now. And by 2030, just 5 years away, that percentage skyrockets from 30% to 55% of BART's workforce. Imagine walking into work next Monday and finding out that half your team is just gone. That's not just turnover, that's institutional knowledge walking out the door. This is a real problem Candace and Diane are facing. The younger generations aren't aware of transit career options. Candace said, BART needs electricians, transit techs, mechanics. We need the next generation to step in and keep the system going.
So what is the impact of these labor shortages? With up to 55% of our workforce at risk of vanishing, if we don't act now, BART could come to a screeching halt. What does this mean to service? This means a worse passenger experience. As we saw during COVID, when train operators didn't show up, we were forced to cancel trains. In addition, this means a shortage of police officers, and our surveys show that passengers are adamant about seeing cops on trains. This also means a delayed emergency response to any maintenance or operational difficulties.
Diane had a vision, Candace had the urgency, our team, the Bartonators, had a solution. What if we use the power of games to put kids in the shoes of real transit workers? Presenting Transiteers, the video game.
Welcome to Transiteers, On-Track Futures, the game where you explore real transit jobs and keep the future moving. On Friday, July 11th, we took the game to Dakota School in Berkeley, California. Students and instructors joined the clean team, which keeps the system spotless and passengers smiling. They became track workers, welding cracked rails. And they team up with BART police to de-escalate urgent situations. Hey folks, I'm getting some reports that your music's bothering other passengers. Mind if we talk for a sec? Those who prefer something behind the scenes become an HR specialist to write daily reports. And their guides, real transit pros like BART track worker 2 Win. Hey there, trainee. Looks like you're making the rounds today. And Chief of Police Kevin Franklin. Welcome, cadet. So, what was the reaction to Transiteers?
I mean, like, it's pretty cool. Like, I'd probably definitely share it with my friends and, like, just, like, show them. And then they'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it just looks so well made and so much detail included, and I feel like it's actually really cool, and I like the visuals a lot. Like, I feel like with maybe some like music, that could be also like something that could make it a little more stimulating too. Would love to see even more scenarios, you know, so people are aware of the types of situations that BART police have to deal with. And not just the police too, also like engineers and drivers and people, you know, all across the staff.
So grab your controller and jump into a career that moves millions. Transiteers, on-track futures. The future is yours to ride. Well,
When someone jumps into Transiteers, they're not just playing a game, they're stepping into the shoes of a real BART worker to introduce players to different transit careers. Each interactive minigame is based on actual tasks and challenges faced on the job, so players get a real sense of what these careers are all about. On the left, we have Linton Johnson from Workforce Development. In the middle, Jennifer Easton from the Art Department. And on the right, 2 Win from the Track Maintenance Department. It takes creative thinkers and strong communicators to keep transit moving, and the next generation is already out there. We just need to meet them where they are. That's the power of Transiteers. It's more to the game. It's a long-term investment in transit's future. We'll cover how this meets IS categories 3, 4, and 7 next. So what you're looking at here is a platform we built the game on, Scratch. This is where we wrote over 500 lines of code, created over 40 game objects, and designed 200 unique costumes and animations. After 3 years of tutoring children at Dakota School in Berkeley, I saw the power of hands-on learning firsthand. That's the heart of Transiteers, helping players see themselves in real transit careers through learning, play, and creation. Back to IA goals 3, 4, and 7. By advancing computer proficiency in Transiteers players and emphasizing the transit workforce of the future, we are meeting these goals.
Transiteers demonstrates how transit jobs work and why they matter. The game offers post-minigame reflections so that young people can think critically about the jobs they perform and see them as useful and rewarding. Transiteers supports the United Nations 8th Goal for Sustainable Development. This 8th goal promotes fair jobs and inclusive, sustainable growth. The game encourages young players to real careers in public transit. When kids play these games, they learn about important jobs, skilled labor, and how teams keep a system running.
Here's just some of the SWOT analysis we've performed for the Transiteers project. Our full analysis is much more extensive than what you're seeing, but here are the highlights. Strengths. Transiteers uses an engaging format to connect youth with transit careers. The content is customizable, and agencies can tailor the game to their local needs. Opportunities. Transit has a strong potential for scalability. The game can be adopted by other agencies, which we will circle back to later. In addition, using a video game to promote career exploration is a novel concept that could attract grant funding from workforce development teams and nonprofits. But let's dive into our weaknesses. There is potential for a one-time engagement risk. Without follow-ups like job shadowing and mentoring, players might finish the game with limited impact to them. We are going to address this, however, and we plan to mitigate this weakness further in the presentation. For our challenges, it does cost money to develop and distribute the game. There are things like staff time and marketing costs that can eat at an agency's tight budget. Therefore, one of our mitigating strategies to bring down these costs is to partner with community organizations who do know the lay of the land when it comes to local outreach.
To really kick off the Transiteers experience, we're planning on hosting a launch event with live gameplay where students can take on real transit planning roles under time pressure. We'll even feature real BART employees as guest speakers to share their career paths, giving students a real-world look at transit jobs. We created an event planning template that outlines key activities such as gameplay, speaker slots, and engagement moments, all to help teams stay organized. The program really fills the local gap by focusing on underserved youth. And to ensure equity, laptops are provided for all attendees. I personally have a deep passion for planning events, whether it's school activities, community programs, or fundraisers. So I'm really excited about the live event aspect that brings the experience to life. Students can ask questions, reflect on their interests, and connect personally to the world of transit. Ultimately, this event is what will help BART fill the gap between Title VI communities by expanding access to transit career opportunities.
Now, we've talked a lot about engaging youth in exciting ways, but what if I told you something even cooler is happening right now? That's right, we're officially launching Transiteers live as we speak. Let's hand it to Pavia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Claudia, reporting live from Oakland, California, and you're watching the official launch of Transiteers. Transiteers is a brand new youth-designed video game that reimagines the future of public transit. We're surrounded by brilliant young creators and an amazing crowd, and we cannot wait to show you what we built. Players are already diving into the game set in a fictional BART-like world, and they're solving challenges around mobility, access, and fairness. For example, Mira here is completely in the zone right now. Every move she makes is helping shape a more connected, accessible city inside the game. And this is exactly the kind of leadership and creativity we're proud to showcase today. I'd also like to spotlight one special guest. This is someone that works in the transit world and understands why events like this matter. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Prim, the Workforce Development Supervisor. Thank you. So one question I'd like to ask you is, how do you feel like this video game would meet the need of transit agencies in building future workforce?
Thank you for having me here today. This video game is an exciting and innovative way to connect young people from elementary, middle, and high schools. By using gamification, it introduces transit careers on a platform that they already love, making it fun and educational. It's accessible to people of all backgrounds, and it opens the doors to a more diverse future workforce. For BART, this is a smart and relevant opportunity, truly a win-win for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and support. And thank you to the judges for joining us live and virtually at this event. Back to you, Aaron.
Thank you, Pavia. And here's another piece of news. The owner of a coder school, Liana So, has recently informed us she loves our game so much, she's interested in creating an entire coding camp around it. And I'll bet they'll use Pavia's event template. But now, let's talk about the audience for Transiteers. Our current game is designed for K-8 youth, but we hope to expand this to high school and university and trade school students, because transit companies want to recruit career-ready young adults. And judges, you're looking at whether we've addressed equity objectives. Here's how we did that. As previously mentioned, in accordance with our Title VI obligations, we're approaching limited English-speaking communities by embedding language options like Spanish, Mandarin, and Tagalog. because representing our underserved and disadvantaged populations must be a part of workforce development. We know Transiteers isn't just a game. It's a mission to close the digital divide while building career awareness.
To explore the potential of Transiteers, we gathered feedback from BART leaders. The police chief sees the potential to boost interest in BART's cadet program and engage high school and young adults early. Director of Technology Angie West is excited about integrating Transiteers directly into the official BART app. Because let's be real, judges, how many of us have handed a phone to a kid to keep them busy? Well, for Angie, it's more than a distraction. It's about keeping younger riders engaged on your platform and not somebody else's. Because mobile app integration can keep young riders on transit apps for the long term. This strategy reduces the risk of losing riders to misinformed third-party apps. At BART's recent career fairs for ages 16 and up, over 1,200 people showed interest in transit jobs. These fairs are so important for Candace, pictured at our North Berkeley fair, to recruit BART's next generation of leaders. Now, judges, imagine this. Transiteers game stations with free-to-use BART laptops can turn these fairs into attractive, gamified experiences. Candace and Diane can keep visitors engaged after the fairs end, giving attendees space that they can build in and belong to.
Now, judges, something you'll be excited about is hearing that Transiteers is not just for BART. We built Transiteers as a customizable product, which means any transit agency can adapt the game to reflect their own stations, careers, and communities. Your agency can change the graphics and redesign the characters and objects to meet your needs. For example, here's a train from LA Metro and a bus from Metro Transit. In other words, Transiteers is your game with your branding.
Judges, we showed you how Transiteers aligns with AYA's ambitions to enhance youth awareness of transit careers. We bridge underserved communities to no-cost career education, and we showed you how agencies across the continent could use Transiteers to support their own goals, using data analytics from the game to inform their own hiring strategies. So finally, thank you, judges, for all of your time and consideration towards Transiteers. We are very grateful for the chance to share our ideas, and we're super excited about the possibilities ahead for Transiteers. Now that you've heard about our game, we know you're feeling inspired. So please take a moment to check the chat for a link to explore transit careers for yourself.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Team Bartnators, for your Transiteers presentation. We have now finished the pitch presentation side of this. I will now pass it over to the chair of the judges board, Mr. Leslie Rogers. And like I said, Leslie, once you get this Q&A underway, I'll hit this 15 timer once again. And once again, thank you. It's all you, Leslie.
Thank you, Isaiah, and good afternoon to the BART Transiteers. Greetings from San Francisco, where it's a chilly 61 degrees on a Sunday.
Nice.
But I know other people would long for this setting, but thank you again for such a thoughtful and well-developed presentation. You earlier had an opportunity to be presented with the background of my esteemed colleagues on this panel. I thank them for their diligence and commitment to this effort, that they thoroughly review each presentation and bring an open mind and a sense of fairness and impartiality. You are the last team, so we span the gamut. But let me just say quickly, there are no gotcha questions. And I remind both the judges and the respondents to please be concise with your question and responses. So having said that, let me turn to the colleague that's closest to you guys, and that's Justin Augustine from AC Transit. Take it away, Justin. You are muted.
I'm sorry. Yeah. First off, great presentation. It was well thought out. Thought it was a phenomenal presentation. I would have never guessed that playing video games could look so good like that with transit. So very impressed with that. I don't have any questions. I just thought it was just a really good presentation. Thought it was really good. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next, we will turn to Dr. Scobie, who's joining us from Washington, I think. Jamal?
Yes, I'm in DC today, 30 degrees higher, 91, trying to get outside. Great presentation, just echoing Justin. This was a phenomenon. I've never seen a game put together to kind of highlight and propose some solutions for the workforce shortage problem. Kind of my comment question. I know you talked about coming to various stakeholders that your approach for the input of putting the game together and then putting the various pieces of muddling through. Have you considered reaching out? I don't know if you're familiar with like various trade organizations, the APTA, the COMTO, to get inputs, because they have a lot of committees of subject matter experts that can provide input as well. And also at the federal level where Leslie's worked as well, you know, getting that federal perspective to get their guidance, because they're the ones that are kind of implementing the federal level legislation. So I don't know if you thought about reaching out to various external stakeholders for your to get more inputs.
Okay, I'd love to answer this question. So two things. One, we reached out to BART internally to make sure that we're representing the functions of the job and their image and likeness as accurately as possible, because we know that the video game medium, it doesn't accurately portray all the complexities of, you know, real life work into a game. So we took the time to like interview each person that we featured, or at least ask them some questions about what they feel like is the most important part. And speaking of conferences, our team actually attended the APTA conference, the rail conference in San Francisco, a couple of weeks ago, and we were just overjoyed to know the network of people we could reach out to just expanded like rapidly now that we knew that all of these adults were excited to hear about how they could contribute, how they could like make sure that transit was being represented in like a wholesome but also very accurate way to engage the youth into seeing what these careers actually are. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. And joining us this afternoon from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul is Grace Almeida from Metro Transit. Grace, question, please.
Yes. So you mentioned or you showed in the app, right, how you can do the different tasks. It kind of shows you the positions. Does it also cover, you know, what it kind of takes to get to a certain role, whether that's a certain major someone might have or an apprenticeship training, or does that piece come through more prominently in like the Transiteers Club and activities and things like that?
Really, it comes from both. In the track section of the video game, which you could try out for yourselves, the main character in that section is Tu Win, who is the track operator here at BART, and in the game she takes you through, you know, what the application process is like, and she mentions like the training needed to be a track worker, and then through our events we're planning on having guest speakers that also talk about their jobs and how they got to where they are.
Thank you. Our next colleague is recovering. He's been a bit under the weather. He's unable to join us on camera, but that's Mr. Jose Ramirez from LA Metro. A question, Jose?
Thank you, Leslie. Yes, first, I just wanted to go ahead and commend the team for the great work that they did. My question has to deal a little bit more with just where did you guys come up with the idea for this? I'm very just excited about it.
I'm the team lead for the project, and when I first started going to UC Berkeley, I started working at the Coder School, which is a tutoring school here at UC Berkeley. And as a tutor, I got to see how games really engaged the kids we were tutoring. They were able to build their own games and explore their own interests through those games. So that's kind of where the idea rose from. Is you know, in today's digital age, it's kind of hard to capture young kids' attention. So a game is a really good way to educate them in a non-traditional way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Fantastic job.
Thank you. And now a question from me. I noted that the game features dialogues in both English and Spanish. I'm just curious, were there considerations for the game for users who may have visual or audio impairments? There is a requirement, I think, Section 508 of some act that you need to be sensitive to. And did you all take those considerations? Did it have bearing?
Yeah, accessibility is really important for us in this game. And one thing we were talking about doing is getting because also, all the characters in the game are real employees at BART. And we've been working on getting voice dialogue, like spoken out, without needing to read the text into the game. And of course, we'll also add other accessibility features, just using the keyboard to move around.
Excellent. Any other questions from my colleagues? Well, I'll step in with one. Have you done even a back of the envelope or back of the napkin exercise to sort of get an estimate of the relevant costs to proceed with your initiative here, since you were launching, which was excellent?
So using Scratch, there was no cost to develop this game. The only cost really was paying us to come up with ideas and the design of the game. There might be further costs if we were to integrate it into the app, since it's a whole different coding language. But once again, it would be mostly the cost it costs us Spartaneers to pay us to develop the game.
And just as an aside, we designed the game to be other agencies can use the assets in the game and just like recolor the objects that they see and maybe the locations and the cities, and like, turn trains into buses. And the purpose of this game is to be very modular so that other IT teams and human resource teams can take this for themselves and implement it at a much faster rate than it took for us to develop it.
Great. Your magnanimity is overwhelming.
Commendable. I was going to say commendable.
Dr. Scobie, a final question from you, if any.
I think I'm good. I'm very impressed. Yeah, looking to see this implemented.
Justin, the second time around, any questions?
Yeah. No questions from me. Great job.
Grace?
Nothing additional. Yeah, amazing work. This was a really cool concept, and I'm excited to see this. And congrats on the launch. Very exciting stuff.
I must say that was a first. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. Scott? The launch.
Yes, I would. And I don't get to ask any questions. Okay. But it was
Jose, a final question from you, perhaps?
All good on my end.
Okay, I will take the chair's prerogative and just highlight or just raise a future consideration, and that would be particularly for the segment targeting young adults between 18 and 25. If a player progresses through the game and they identify interest in a position, is it possible to have a link to BART's HR announcement for that position such that the person can have instant access to their area of interest?
Yeah, that was something we considered when we built the game using Scratch. Scratch offers game metrics, which you could use to track players' progress through the game, and then using those game metrics, we and the event template, we wanted to target those careers that players were most interested in at our events.
Very well. We won't belabor the point, or I won't further badger the judges, but try to wrap up here and extend the Transiteer team 2 to 3 minutes to do your closing presentation. Any thanks or shout outs you want to extend to anybody? And it's on you. Take it away, guys.
I'd say we definitely want to give a big shout out to all of you for being here and giving us your time and support, even before we're finished with the project, for helping answer any questions. We'd also like to thank our mentor, Linton, because he helped us along the whole process and helping coming up with developing ideas. And like even when ideas didn't come out the way we wanted it to, he was there to support us and be positive and think of new ways to approach the problem instead of being stuck, which we really appreciate.
We'd also like to extend our thanks to all of the employees within BART and also those we met at APTA who gave us really good advice for trying to portray transit in the most positive and realistic light possible. It's without them, we wouldn't be able to, replicate these roles in the video game that we have the ability to create, but we don't have enough insight into when walking into this project. Now we do have a lot of ideas for future developments. So thank you to all of the people at BART and beyond.
And I'd like to thank the live guest speakers we just had at our live event. We had someone from our technology services and we had someone from human resources. And I think all the kids there learned a lot.
Yeah. And it's a Sunday.
And it's a Sunday.
So thank you again, guys, for an excellent presentation. We appreciate your presence with us today. I was actually at the After Rail conference. Perhaps I may have seen some of you guys. I don't know if I met you, but again, thank you for your presentations. Congratulations on such a fine effort. And with that, I'll conclude and turn it over to Dr. Scott for concluding remarks.
Well, I think a lot's been said, but just really thank you for an awesome presentation. And we will, and for your participation in the program, the thoughtfulness that you put into this, you can tell the enthusiasm. It's also clear that BART leadership is absolutely behind this, which makes a big difference in terms of actually being able to actualize things. So we're extremely appreciative, and we will look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Forward to seeing you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So much.